of YouTube, and just the fact that that many people are watching on their TV, let alone on their computer, on their phone. How many people are on YouTube for that? So let's go ahead and get into it. So we have three different classes. This is the one-on-one class. We'll get into the fundamentals of video marketing and essentially why you should get into video marketing, why it's essential in your marketing plan. We'll get into some content planning and equipment. And then at the very end, we'll help you create your first video, which will be a green screen short that you can create. A little bit about myself. I grew up here in Southwest Washington. I ended up going to Washington State University over in Pullman, did finance and marketing. I had a foot in the door at a mortgage company out of college. So I've been in mortgage lending for 8 years now. And back right at 3 years ago is when I started my YouTube channel, The Couch GM. I just found I saw a hole in you know, uh, the content for the Mariners space, the Seattle Mariners and baseball. So I wanted to make videos that I myself would want to watch and educate people on the players that I was interested in learning about and just making stuff that I wanted to watch myself. And it's turned into what it is today. I've actually just passed 3 million views on YouTube. I think it was 2 weeks ago now, I passed 10,000 subscribers, and it's allowed me to have all the get all of these different connections, which are just wild, and it's mind blowing, like having Mariners Hall of Famer Jamie Moyer on my podcast, and I've had him on a few times now, as well as other big leaguers, top prospects for the Mariners. And actually this last weekend I actually got a shout out on national TV during the Washington State University Boise State University football game in the fourth quarter, because one of the broadcasters ended up watching my Washington State Boise State preview podcast to learn about, to get prepared for the broadcast, and they shouted out the Couch GM, which was insane. So it's been, you know, more than I could ever imagine, and I know that this is just the start. So I'm trying to help give back and to help educate people on how they could do the same thing for their business. And with this growth in the YouTube channel, I've now started to create mortgage and real estate content. I've started to create a portfolio of essentially educational videos so that I could have a conversation with a client, be able to get off the phone and send them a link to a YouTube video to help better explain. And I'm a visual and audio learner. So if I could create one quality video today that can answer a question that I have frequently asked, that'll help save me time. It'll help get them educated. They'll get to know, like, and trust me. So by the time we actually get under contract, I'm not having to do any selling. They already want to work with me because they know and they trust me. And this has led to Couch GM clients. So this is someone that lived in Florida, was subscribed to my YouTube channel, watching baseball content, and I've been putting mortgage ads in my YouTube videos. He saw my mortgage ad. It happened to be when he was looking to move. I helped them refinance in Florida, purchase a property in Olympia, and it was a great experience, really my ideal client. And then we have Michael.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope you guys are well. Thanks for having me on as well. And Connor being from Washington State, I went to University of Washington, but we don't hold that against each other. We're pretty. We work really well together. Like what Connor says, he kind of fulfills the half of it, and I'm kind of the other half. So I own a media company called Praise Media. We've been around for just over 2 years now. And basically, our sole mission is to help real estate business gain more attention, as well as generate more qualified leads through video content. So we have kind of a system in place where we fulfill every aspect of the content creation process, from helping you come up with ideas to helping you outline those ideas, putting knowledge to paper, then coming out to film the ideas, editing it, and then also helping you post as well. And so I've been involved in the social media space since 2017. I'm a former actor, so I lived in Hollywood for about 5 years. So I kind of have the experience of being in front of the camera as well as being behind the camera. So I'm just using those skills that I learned in growing this company. And so just super blessed to be able to meet Connor, just because it was just like one of those things where it's like, man, we were just trying to find like-minded individuals in the area. I'm originally from Seattle, so my wife and I just moved down here to Vancouver just last year. And so Connor and I we basically just hit it off right when we met, and we just decided to partner up and and just really connect with a lot of the real estate teams in the area, just to give them more education about social media, as well as help them grow as well. So with the clients we worked with, we've been able to get millions of views across YouTube and Instagram platforms. Those are the two that we focus on, and then also help them increase their revenues as well, because they are getting the attention through video content. They're closing more deals. They're able to build out their teams a lot more, and then at the end of the day, they're able to just really generate that income that we need. Um, Moving on to the next slide here, one of the some of the main reasons why people work with us is one, they want to generate more leads. As business owners, we know that leads are the life or the blood and life of a business, right? And the warmer the better, right? And so using video, specifically social media video, is really gonna be that I want to say like incubator almost, because it's gonna warm somebody up to get to you as far as a lead goes. So, I say this all the time in front of Connor as well, but 74% of consumers, they buy from people that they like, know, and trust. So video is the powerful tool to help us get there. And so people like working with us because they want to generate leads. Another reason is that they save so much time. Connor can probably do a testament to this, but people are spending anywhere from 40 to 50 hours a week doing content themselves without a team, right? So they're coming up with the ideas, they're researching it, they're putting pen to paper, and then also shooting themselves, editing it, which takes the longest, and then also posting the content. So it takes so much time and effort. And so us being able to save that time, they can dedicate that time in growing their teams and attending more events, improving themselves by going to like mastermind events and things like that, and also spending time with their families. So we're able to just take over that time allotment. You can go to the next slide. You can pass that as well. And then, yeah, you can go. Cool. So, like I said, one of the main reasons why a lot of businesses are gravitating towards video is because it just really expedites the time that you're spending with people. They're getting to know you better on a more personal level, and like I said, the more that people spend time with you, the more they're gonna like, know, and trust you, and build that authority to come and do business with you.
And getting into this slide, I don't know how many of you know Ryan Serhant, but he came out with a book recently called Brand It Like Serhant. And if you haven't read it, I would highly recommend it. One of the biggest takeaways, he basically goes through how he built his personal brand, and now he's got a Netflix series. He's one of the most well-known real estate, realtors and public figures in the country and the world. But one of the big takeaways was finding, he said, to find your and. Like, you're a realtor and what? I'm a mortgage lender and I'm super into baseball and sports. So there's two different approaches to that. One is where you can go all in on your and create a YouTube channel that's just talking about baseball, and then have your business sponsor that channel. Or you could have it so that you're just kind of, adding in your and whenever you can, when you're creating content, when you're posting content. If you're super interested in something, you don't need to act like you're only a realtor that can't, talk about anything else. It just has to be real estate. It has to be business. It's like, no, you just be yourself. That's ultimately what you have to do. And so whatever that means for you, if you're a realtor that's super into cooking and, meals, do an open house and make a meal, or do an open house video and showcase the kitchens, especially, or something like that. Just think on yourself with what you're interested in, find your and incorporate that into your marketing, because that ultimately is who you are. So one thing that we want to get into is about talking through the difference between search engines and social medias. Google and YouTube are the top two search engines in the world. Google owns YouTube. They're completely incorporated together. When you look at the back end and analytics of a YouTube video, you might be surprised how many views are coming from people searching on Google, that then, they're scrolling on Google, your thumbnail pops up and it's answering their question, or it's the topic that they're looking for. They click over onto YouTube. The searchability and also the shelf life of these platforms of YouTube is a huge key into why you want to focus your time and effort into creating content specific for YouTube. Social medias are a bit different. You know, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all the other short form platforms. Instead of the shelf life being forever on social media, likely you're going to be relevant for a few days, maybe a week, to where someone's going to see that content. With social media, it's about brand awareness and staying in front of people. But then you're basically wanting to drive them back to your YouTube channel. And also the views long term are going to be on YouTube. If you create one quality piece of content today for YouTube, someone 5 years from now might be searching for that very topic and might find your video. Whereas the likelihood of that happening on social media is less likely. And also the attention span on social media is going to be much shorter than someone that's looking to view on YouTube. They're going to be locked in your content versus, you have to catch them within 2 to 3 seconds at the beginning of the video. Otherwise, they're gone. Anything to add to that?
No, that was great, man. That was awesome. Yeah, so when it comes to equipment and things like that, simple the better, right? So especially if you don't have anywhere in your budget to hire a team, that's totally fine. I mean, if you look at a lot of content creators, they started shooting their own content before picking up momentum and hiring out. So just going through a few important things to think about is three things. So one is your camera, right? So you can either use something like a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, usually like Sony, Canon, and Nikon. Those are like the top three. But I would say if you don't have the budget for that, all you need is your phone. So, iPhone, Android, what have you, as long as you can shoot 4K, totally fine. And you can use that. As far as other equipment, having a tripod, you can use that as well to mount your camera or your phone. They have a lot of things out there now. If you have like a desk setup like this, you can have mounts or tripod mounts on your desk where you can also put your camera as well. So that's a really good tool. Audio, I highly suggest using the DJI Mic 2s. Myself and Connor has those. I have those to shoot my content as well as clients' content. And just based on experience, I've used tons of wireless mics, and it just really, it's very simple to use because you don't have to worry about wires, obviously, tripping over them. And then also at the same time, it keeps the transmission up. So you could be standing like 200 feet away, and it's still, you're capturing pretty crisp audio still. And then lastly, lights are very important. So let me see if I can turn my so we have something called the Loom Cube. So I had these as like my desk setup. So these are pretty simple. You also hear about like light boxes, like soft diffusers, those as well. LED lights are great as well. But for me, I'm huge on natural light. So if you're shooting like at home, like in a room where there's like large windows, getting next to the window and taking advantage of that natural light. There you go. Awesome setup right there, Larry. Yeah, you can use those as well as far as lighting. So those are, I would say that's like the foundational stuff that you need as far as shooting content by yourself. Obviously, if you have a team, any good media team is going to have their own equipment to film you and things like that. So I would say that. And then next slide, we do have a freebie for you. This is like a list of all the equipment that we've used. And we can copy and paste this link into the chat here as well. And basically this is a live document that we're constantly updating of all the items that we use, camera, lighting, what have you. And you can basically just use it to your disposal. So feel free to check out that free resource.
Now getting into the kind of the overview of content. So you just glanced over some various platforms. We're going to talk about the actual content itself now. There's really two different columns of tier of content, you could say. There's evergreen content and there's trending content. There is overlap depending on the topic, but evergreen content is going to be, content that is long term, that is deep, connecting. As I mentioned, it's relevant today. It's also relevant 5 years from now. I made a video on talking through the home buying process from start to finish, just because that was one of the most frequently asked questions. And that topic likely isn't going to change very much from today as it is 5 years from now. So if you create a video like that, it has the potential to be found today, but it's also going to be found 5 years from now, and it's going to be relevant 5 years from now. People might not be searching for it actively right now. It's not like a hot topic button or a hot button topic, but it has the potential to be relevant 5 years from now. Versus trending content, you want to utilize both of these. But with trending content, it's going to be potentially short term. It's going to be more wide reaching to where more people are actively searching for it. Like when interest rates dropped last month, if you make a video about that today, like, hey, the Fed just dropped rates, people are looking for that information right now. It might not be relevant a year from now because you're talking about September 2024, but it's going to be a wider, potential wider reach to get people to your channel to start seeing your content. They then go to your channel and they see all these other videos and they get to know, like, and trust you that way. So you want to utilize both evergreen and trending content. Here's some examples. And if you want to screenshot this, go ahead. These are some examples of evergreen content within your business and videos and topics that you can create that are more long lasting. So as I mentioned, answering common questions, talking through the home buying process, the pre-approval process, down payment myths, also getting into the neighborhood guide. If you want to attract clients that are moving to certain areas, make content directly around that. And that same video probably will be relevant a few years from now. It's not a trending topic. Also, a day in the life, what it's like to do what you do, just to be who you are, what it's like to be a realtor, closing a deal, tips for selling your house so that if you're going into a listing appointment, you could also have the potential of being found via search online, but then you could also send that to your potential client after you leave the meeting and help seal that deal. Also, client testimonials are another good one. Some examples of trending content in business, as I mentioned, the housing trends or market updates. So as soon as rates drop, as soon as if there's a trend in pricing up or down, you could talk about the current trends that are going on. Anything that's 2024 specific or month specific, again, it might not be relevant a year from now, but you can use the current trending information to potentially get more exposure to your brand. And then talking through another, column there. So with evergreen content and trending topics, there's now long form and short form content that you can kind of overlay on top of that. So long form content in general is going to be horizontal and it's going to be over a minute to a minute 30. Short form content is for the social media platforms. So the long form is really, you just want to be posting it on YouTube, let it do its thing, versus short form, it's going to be either repurposed YouTube content where you take the horizontal video, you then edit it so that it's vertical, it fits on your phone, and then you're posting that across the different social media platforms. And in general, it's going to be 1.5 minutes or shorter. You can go longer on certain platforms, but and things are always trending or changing. So you want to be kind of up to date on what's going on with different social medias and what's going on. But you want to focus on the long form. You also want to be utilizing the short form. And with short form, it's kind of like Costco. You go in, you get a sample of a product. If you like it, then you'll go buy the actual thing. You'll go buy the long form. So with shorts, you want to have it be a representation of what your overall content and brand will be. You don't want to make shorts that are, one thing and then they go to your YouTube channel, watch your long form content, and it's totally different. It's kind of just allowing people to consume your content in a short chunk to try to drive them to your long form. And you really just want to have hard hitting information only with shorts. You have 2 to 3 seconds to grab someone's attention before they're scrolling on to the next video. No introductions, no, hey, how's it going? Just wanted to jump on here. It's like, just get straight into information, just hook people, provide value, provide information, and they're going to want to stay through the remainder of that video. And then they find enough value in that short, they'll go to your long form content. Ideally, you want to fill the screen. There you could use trending music in app. Just remember that potentially that music might be cut out down the road. So keep that in mind. And like I said, you have 3 seconds to catch someone's attention. And as I briefly described, there's a few different types of short form content that you can create. One is to repurpose a long form horizontal video that you created on YouTube. Aside from that, I also recommend, creating standalone shorts that are specifically made for shorts. We'll get into the green screen later in this class, but utilizing something like this, when the Fed drops rates, taking a picture of or a screenshot of an article and then having it behind you, you're pointing to it, talking about what's going on behind you. You could also do a screen recording. So you're scrolling down the article. So it's a video behind you that's moving instead of just a stationary picture, just trying to keep people's attention.
Yeah,
And then
I would
try
say.
to, yeah,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
go for it.
No, I was going to say to piggyback off what Connor's saying. Yeah, so that's great to screenshot the article or even play like a video in the background. What's also trending right now, at least what we've noticed, is like reaction videos. So seeing what other creators are doing as far as video goes, and then like showing a snippet from there, and then you have like a reaction or opinion to that. So someone can be like, "Oh, this is what I think about what's going on in the Vancouver real estate market," and you may not agree with that. So we would play a snippet, and then you would respond to that. So that's kind of what's trending as well as far as short form content.
And then you want to drive engagement. So ask questions just by sharing opinions on a topic. Naturally, people are going to want to agree or disagree, and they're going to share their comments below, on what they think. But ask questions. Make sure to comment below what you think about X, Y, or Z, and try to drive engagement. The more that people are sharing your content, engaging with it, liking it, the more that the algorithm and the platforms are going to want to promote your content and put it in front of other people.
So I'm just responding to a question in the chat. Okay, yeah. So where do I start? We just gave you guys a lot of information in like 20 minutes. I'm pretty sure your guys' heads are probably spinning. You're like, oh man, like how do I get started, right? So I want to just give you these questions that are important to ask before you even press the record button. And the most important question that's here on the list is, who am I talking to? So that is the single most important question you'll ask yourself before you even start your content creation journey. And this is the biggest struggle that I would say 95% of content creators have, is they have no idea who they're speaking to. They have no idea who their avatar is. They have no idea who they want to help. Um, and so it's very important to be as clear as possible with that. So depending on like which industry you're in, let's just say, for example, you're in fitness, maybe you help, overweight moms lose weight in 30 days. That's someone specific that you're talking to. Another one can be like, oh, I'm in the tech industry, and I love Apple products. So I'm talking to the ones that are newbies to Apple products. So all my content's gonna like revolve around that, or that's like the core thing that I talk about. Another question to ask is like, why do you want to do this? So, obviously this is a journey, right? And so there's going to be times where you're going to be like, man, do I really have to like meet up with my media team today, or do I have to shoot this piece of content? It's life, right? We're all human. We go through those ups and downs. But that why is what's going to keep you going. So really reflect and ask yourself, why do you want to do this? Do you want to do this to grow your business? Do you want to do this to become famous? There's nothing wrong with that. Do you want to do this because you want to supplement your income? Because YouTube is a great way to add another type of income to what you're already doing. Third question is, what type of content do you want to film? So, you have talking videos that are like what we see all the time. You have like the skit videos where it's like you see one person playing like two characters and it like goes back and forth. Is it like a day in the life? We would suggest like experimenting different types of video content when you're starting out, and to see which one you have fun doing, and then also like what is performing well, as far as YouTube and other whatever other platforms you're using. And then lastly, or that ties into the fourth question, which is like, how do I package the content? So how are you going to deliver it? So like, are you going to deliver it just talking head style in your office? Are you going to walk around and shoot selfie style and then post it? How are you going to package in? So we really encourage you to use different types of, or experiment different types of ways before moving forward. Anything to add to that, Connor?
Not on that. I guess one thing that I would say, when you're looking to start, reach out to us. We're happy to answer any questions. We could share your, the equipment list with you just to get off the ground. And then we could help brainstorm with you further. Also, I would think about, the best client that you've had that was the most enjoyable to work with, that was the easiest to work with. It was a great transaction. Think about that client and create content specific to what they might want to watch or how you could attract more of those. Because ideally, through this brand awareness and video marketing, you're going to be attracting more clients. You might as well try to attract the ones that you want to work with the most. So think through that also.
Exactly, exactly. So just wanted to give you as well like a suggested filming plan. So whether you're working with a team or by yourself, this is just based on what we've seen like experience wise, like success, right? So we're just focused on two platforms here, YouTube and Instagram. So with YouTube, you know, posting at least once a week, long form. So like what Connor touched on earlier in their presentation about, the horizontal form, at least over a minute. And then also 3 to 4 short forms videos per week. And then Instagram, it's like 3 to 4 reels a week with 5 to 7 stories a day. So stories are basically giving people the opportunity to see what you're up to. Okay. So on Instagram, there's a feature on there where you can like film yourself and be like, hey guys, happy Tuesday. Hope you guys are doing well. Have an action packed day today. I'm going to take you guys along with me. And then it just registers on your profile. So like when you see your profile picture on Instagram, it'll have like that color around your face, so it'll show that, oh, okay, this person has a new story, so I'm going in. And so this is like a really good way to connect with your current followers and just let them know what you're up to. So we highly suggest doing at least 5 to 7 stories per day. And then the most overlooked thing with social media, I'm telling you this right now, um, is responding to comments and DMs. That is like, if I can give you the biggest hack of this presentation and the easiest way to turn your customers into paying clients is those two things: responding to comments and responding to DMs. I can't tell you enough how many times there's missed opportunities because either people have questions about your product or service, or they just want to talk more into detail about the piece of content you presented, and those things are left unanswered. So when you're able to just respond to those two things, you will separate yourself from, um, you know, 90% of the other content creators that are out there. Okay. And then also, lastly, it's always great to just study content. So not only just producing it yourself, but becoming a consumer and just seeing all the great videos that are being posted out there, just to study them, learn them. I would suggest studying like the first 10 to 20 seconds and just really see how the person carries himself in front of the camera, and then also like seeing the style and things of that nature, and just learn that and implement that into your own content.
All right. Do you want to learn how to make a green screen? Let's pull out your phone if you have it on you. If you have an Instagram account, pull that out. We'll walk you through how to create a green screen short, reel, or video. So if you go to your profile and you hit the plus button in the top right, then you'll hit reel, which is a video essentially. You'll hit camera. On the left side, you'll go to effects. And when you go to effects, there's a search bar there. You'll want to type in green screen. There should be multiple different green screen effects that will pop up. You can just pick one. And when you hit that button, you will swipe down from the effects. And there should be a button at that point where you should see yourself. And then there's also a button that says change background. And so if you go Instagram, hit the plus, go reels, camera, effects, green screen, you could hit change background, and it should allow you to pick any photo that you have on your camera, on your phone, any video as well. And when you click that, it'll put it in the background, and then you could hold that button down, the green screen button, to start recording, and it's, the green screen behind you. I don't know if everyone was tracking on all of that, or if you're there. Any questions on any of that, or anything that we've already covered today?
So Connor, could you put those steps? Do you have those steps that you just told us? I kind of lost track a little bit, but I think I did it right. But do you have those steps?
I should probably type it out. Let me type it out as I'm doing that. Any questions on any of the content or the stuff that we were talking about today?
Yeah, Connor, I was wondering, can you give us examples of some really good um, accounts on YouTube and Instagram of realtors who are really crushing it right now for the Clark County area? I know Larry had recommended Hannah Dubine, and I do watch hers. I wondered
Yeah,
if you had any others.
yeah. Specific to Clark County, I would say Halberd and Hannah Dubine are currently the top two. There are others,
Okay.
and sorry if I'm
How do
not
you
mentioning.
spell Hal? Is it Hal?
Correct. And then BYRD.
Halberd. Okay, thank you.
Shastine Bradley has a pretty good channel. Hers is up and coming too.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
so real quick,
yeah.
you can post images to YouTube now. Have you guys like had much luck with that or seeing much interaction off of it at all?
I post to the community tab all the time,
Okay. And do
and
you see interaction on it?
oh yeah, it's insane.
Okay.
And specifically, if you're posting to your community tab, like once you start to get a subscriber base and followers, the image polls I see get the most interaction. So, who's going to win this game tonight, or which Zillow picture would you pick these
Right.
two?
And that's mostly for the mobile, because that's usually where I see those posts the most is when I'm scrolling YouTube on my mobile device.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you also see it on desktop. You also have the ability to be found by people that aren't following you yet just by posting to the community tab. Like if you're scrolling on YouTube, you might start seeing community posts from accounts that you're not yet following.
Mm.
But because YouTube thinks that it knows who you are and what your interests are, you might be interested in what this account is posting, so it might put it in front of you.
So Connor, do you have an example where that community page is? Do you have your thing that you could, your channel that you could share and show where that community?
Yeah, I could let me
That would be great because I wasn't even aware we could do that.
Right.
yeah, I'll pull up my channel.
Yeah, you can also put like polls on there as well. So it's pretty interactive.
Yeah. Well, today was made. Okay, so this is my channel. So if I go to the community tab, these are all posts that I've done. And so any image that I'm posting on Instagram or other platforms, I always post it to my YouTube also, because the people that are following me on YouTube, they're interested in the same stuff. And so I just copy and paste the same description also. I put hashtags just in case it does anything. I'm not sure how much it does, but yeah, so all of these are different community posts, and you see like 115 likes.
Connor, I noticed you're a premium YouTuber. Is that going to have an impact on those of us that are not premium?
No, the only difference is that it allows me to bypass. So it allows a couple things. Like when I'm watching on my mobile device, I can hit the lock screen to turn off the screen and it's still playing in the background. If you're not paying for YouTube Premium, then you have to keep the app open and the video open.
Okay.
So it's just like a couple small things like that. It doesn't boost my channel or anything like that.
Okay.
But I will add to that once you start creating content for YouTube, I have done here. I'll see if I could show this. I've done a few YouTube promotions. So I've put some ad dollars towards here. I'll pull up my other channel actually. So I put
How hard is it to promote a post? Is it pretty easy?
It's insanely easy. Here, I'll show you right now. So you just go content, you go over to promotions. I made a video when the Costco in Ridgefield opened. And so I wanted to put some money behind it because I want to get that video out. I want to get more people that are interested in Ridgefield. I've spent $87 on promoting the video. It's gotten just under 15,000 promotion
Wow.
impressions.
Wow. Okay.
And so that means that 15,000 times my first 5 seconds of that video are being played. Like when you're on your YouTube and those ads pop up, the skippable ads, that's, I believe, what this is, to where that's being played that many times. I've gotten 3,600 views on that video itself from people seeing my promotion and wanting to go watch the video. And then I've gotten, my goal of the promotion is to get people to click on my mortgage website. So I've actually gotten 750 website clicks. So 750 times someone's clicked on my mortgage website from watching that promotion, and it cost $87. I haven't gotten any deals from it necessarily yet, but with the amount of money that people spend on paying for leads and all these things, consider the quality of the leads that you're getting from those ad dollars. And then think, if you were to take some of that, marketing budget, put it towards hiring a marketing team to help you create quality content, promoting some videos, I feel like long term, this is going to do pretty well. So,
Larry, do you
No,
think this is a way to promote a listing?
that's exactly where I was going. So like imagine like if you get the video from your videographer
Uh-huh.
and they send it over to you, instead of putting the link to the videographer's channel into the MLS, which is typically what I see, is uploading it to your own YouTube channel, then hitting that promote button, putting $100 on it and letting it go. And then like taking some of this data right here, you can send that over to your seller and say like, look, your video got 15,000
right.
views.
That's a great idea,
And
Larry.
they don't have to know that you paid for those views. And even if they did, I think it would be
Right.
fine. But just like, hey, your home got 15,000 views. They're like, how come nobody's made an offer on it? Well, that's data you can use going forward to say like, maybe we should do
Yeah.
a price reduction.
I like that idea a lot. I think I'll do that with my listing.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great idea. Any other questions on anything?
Yeah, so I just also was with the video editing. I know you also do, Connor, you help with video editing.
Michael and his team, they have that process dialed in. Michael, if you want to get into that a little bit.
Yeah, what was the question on? Did you have a specific question on the
The
editing?
question, do you do like for teams, or does it matter about like how long the video, or just do you have like different packages, or how that or do they just connect directly with you and then you just go from client to client? So everyone is different.
Yeah, so we basically have a few core packages that is just a mixture of long form and short form content. And so based on that, yeah, to answer your question, yeah, we do both. So we've done long forms as long as 40, 50 minutes, and as short as 30 seconds. So it's kind of all over the board. It just really depends on the type of content we're doing.
And what it looks like to work with us is essentially like we just had a shoot today with the client. We meet you on site. We help you strategize the ideas of what you want to be making videos about, the scripting behind it. Michael and his team, they have videographers, editors, all that dialed in. So you just show up. You're the expert at the end of the day. So you know what you're talking about. And if there's a subject that you want to talk about, you're the expert. So it's like we just kind of help support you along that way. And then we help you with the actual shooting itself. I know turning on a camera and the lights and all that stuff, it can be a bit daunting, but we help walk you through the actual, production of it. And then once you're done with that, it's just a matter of his editors getting it done. You can look at the revisions and add any additional notes if you want to change anything. And then I help with the actual posting to your YouTube channel, as well as creating the thumbnail, building out the description and all the back end stuff for YouTube so that it has the best potential at success.
Perfect, thank you. So definitely put your contact information, or I think you have already put it in the chat here. Connor, Michael, and did you put the list of tools that you mentioned in there? Like, I have this really little selfie ring. It's a small one, but like a list of tools that you mentioned.
Oh yeah, I dropped the link.
You did. Okay,
the
perfect.
figure
Thank
guide
you.
is there. So you basically just sign up for that, and it'll automatically be sent to you. It's like a doc, Google Doc. So you'll get that.
Let me see.
Michael, that's the praisedmedia.com gear guide.
Yeah, the praisemedia.com/free gear guide.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
And there's my contact info there.
Perfect. Oops, where did everything go? Okay, well, this is
Hey,
great. Does anybody else have any
Janine?
questions for
Oh,
Connor and
Paul.
Michael? Oh,
Oh, I think we
Yeah.
got
Yeah,
it.
on that list, where was that? I'm looking for that and I can't find it.
Oh,
List of equipment. Oh, equipment list.
yeah, I'll repaste it here in the chat. If you go to
Oh.
the chat, there's a link there.
And then those steps for the green screen, that would be super. I got sidetracked with somebody's video about halfway through. Squirrel.
yeah,
Yeah.
same here. Yeah, I'll definitely appreciate that degree.
Okay, let me
I
just type that
fumbled
in.
around with it as well. And I'm also waiting for those
Guys, this was a-
steps. Go ahead.
Nope, I was just saying thanks. This was great information.
Thank you.
No problem, Randy.
And for anybody who's also interested, October 15th, we're going to dive a little deeper on how to create shorts. So it's going to be a really short one, and that's going to be Larry. Larry's on here as well. I can't see you right now, but it's going to be how you take one of your plain YouTube videos and create a short from it. So I'm going to put that in here as well. It's going to be a quick one. It's going to be more of a workshop one. So definitely sign up for that if you're interested in seeing how to do a short.
Awesome. That'll be great. Thank you so much, Connor and Larry and Michael.
You bet. Anytime.
Thank you all, and thank you, Janine.
Yes,
Janine,
thank
you'll
you.
send
I
us
think we had
copy
a
of this?
question. I think we had a question here.
Oh, yeah.
Cecily. Oh, you're muted.
You're on mute, Cecily.
Unmute.
Cecily.
Yes, how important is your background? Because when I'm watching people's videos, my eyes are drawn to the background. So how careful do you need to be about that?
Yeah,
I think
I
you
mean,
use.
if
yeah.
you look at ours, it's kind of, it just really depends on how you want to do it. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Obviously, you don't want to be standing in front of like a light or something because it's just going to totally blow you out. But I would say a plain background is pretty good. Getting some things in the back to kind of spruce it up a little bit is always nice. But if you're like shooting outside, nature is good, like having some trees in the background, things like that. But yeah, I mean, you don't want anything that's going to be like super distracting, if that makes sense.
And as you mentioned, your eyes are drawn to the background. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Connor. I'm looking at your 44 in Seattle.
Yeah. So you could.
yeah, this is definitely the sports theme for the sports channel. But I do my mortgage stuff here also because it's like, hey, if there's any sports fans that are watching it.
Exactly.
A good place to start is just in your car.
In your car.
That's huge.
That was
Yeah,
my first
that's
one. I had the blinker
great.
going on. I didn't even know. I
Mhm.
just posted it anyway. That was my
Yeah.
first.
Turn your air conditioning down. I had somebody just send me a video last week and she had her phone out like this and it was right in front of the air conditioning vent. So all you heard was,
Oh, no.
Oh,
Cecily's on mute again.
I said, what about pets and kids? Because they can kind of photobomb your background.
it's all right.
just put them in timeout for a little bit and then film your stuff.
Perfect. Okay, so Connor and Michael, more than happy, reach out to them if you have any questions. Their contact information is in there, or reach out to me. We're more than happy to help where we can. And
Thanks,
thank you, everybody, for
Janine.
coming, and especially Connor, Michael, everybody. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate y'all.
Replay,
Take care.
Janine?
All right.
What
See
was
ya.
that?
You'll send us a replay?
I'll send a replay, I'll send the descriptions, I'm gonna do the green. I'll check in with, I think Connor did it. Is that the green one with FX? Yes, so Connor did post it. Frank, did you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'll put that in the YouTube out in this description as well with a few other fun things that we went through. The
Okay,
marketing
thanks very
101.
much.
All right.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Janine.
Thanks so much.
Thanks,
Take care,
everyone.
guys.
Bye.